Welcome to the Superfacts Show on the Superfacts Network. Featuring St. Laz, who also hosts the popular web series Gem Pop, and music journalist Mark Walter Ward. They have discussions about hip-hop, culture, society, philosophy, and everything else. Now available on YouTube and wherever else you get your podcasts. What up, world? Superfacts Show, Superfacts Network. It's your man Mark Walter Ward in here with a true legend. And to kind of paraphrase Big L, how come you can listen to his first song and know where a lot of rappers got their whole style from? The Master IC, worked with all the legends before anybody else for the most part. One of the breakout stars of the legendary DJ Clue series of the 90s. One of my personal favorite artists, Mic Geronimo. How you doing today, brother? What's up?
Mark, I'm good, brother. Thank you, bro. Thanks for having me, man. I'm cool though. Everything's good. What's up with you, bro?
Man, I'm chilling. I'm happy to see that you releasing new music. You got a new song out, Smoke, and a freestyle with Nature.
Oh
So
yeah, yeah.
so Smoke, that's is that a single? Because you're about to drop an album, right?
Yeah, well, I'm putting the finishing touches on it, and tentatively the album will probably come out in March. So yeah, we get ready to let things go, bro.
And so right now they can check out Smoke on all digital streaming platforms.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the album is 3016, which is personal to you. You chose the title for a special reason, right?
Yeah, 3016. That was actually my father passed away from cancer a couple of years ago, but 3016 was his badge number. He was a NYPD. So he was I guess you could say he was the catalyst for me to go, even do the project that I'm working on now, but I promised him that I would. So once I started recording, once I got like halfway through, it just hit me to, what better way to dedicate it to him. So that's where 3016 comes from.
Was he a cop in your neighborhood?
Nah, no. Not my neighborhood. But he was NYPD. I mean, if you're a cop, you're a cop. So in my neighborhood, if he was there, I guess technically, yeah, he was a cop of my neighborhood.
Yeah, but I mean, it wasn't like his beat or whatever. You know what I mean?
Nah, not at all. Not at all.
Man, I wonder how that would have changed your life.
I have no idea, bro.
I know. How could you even project it? You know what I mean?
I mean, it didn't. I don't know. Like, to me, that it was no different than if your father's a plumber, or if your father's an electrician, if your father, owned the store. My dad was a cop.
Yeah, no, there's definitely no. Especially, I imagine, given the time frame that he was probably a police officer in New York City, he was probably one of those guys that like walked around and knew people in the neighborhood and.
Yeah, like
be involved in a boxing league. I mean, the New York police used to have some righteousness to it.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But he started out there in the 70s, and then from there on, he spent the better part of his life as a police officer and with the military. So that's pretty much most of what I knew, being raised around.
Hey, that's good though, because that means I feel like having structure. I mean, anybody who has structure does better in life for the most part. But
I guess debatable. I got into my share of things, but all in all, yeah, I'm very appreciative that now that I'm a man, now that I'm grown, now that I have my own children and my own family, and I live life every day. I'm very, very, very grateful that I had that amount of structure, caring, and knowledge around me.
I mean, it might not have kept you from getting into things, but it might be the reason it might be the reason you got out of it might be the reason you got out of things,
I mean? A couple of times here or there, so, but shout out to Dad. I love him.
Well, since we talking your family, I know it's in your bio, and if there's not too much to it, we can move right along. But your mother worked for Ebony. Like, did you ever used to go to the office? Did that have any how would I say formative experiences from that for you?
Oh yeah, absolutely. When I was a kid,
please elaborate.
Yeah, my mom worked for Ebony magazine, and they were owned by Mr. Johnson, Malone Johnson Publishing. So as a kid, every now and
You know
again,
Robert Johnson?
yeah, I met him as a child. Yeah, I knew him as a kid. So like,
Started the Charlotte Bobcats.
yeah, so not the same. Not, I don't believe that's the same Mr. Johnson, the
If
one who started the Bobcats. I don't believe that's the same one.
Oh, I thought it was.
Nah, I
I
don't
thought he
think so.
started
I could
Ebony.
be wrong, but my mom was actually one of the heads of marketing and ad placement at Ebony. And so, you know, as a kid, she would take me to work with her in Manhattan, and you know, I would meet people like Mr. Johnson, or you know, other people that were affiliated with the magazine, and I would just be a kid watching what my mom did, you know.
Man, so I guess being able to experience all those different worlds really was why you were so, you know, from the beginning really to be so, what would be the right way to say it? Various
Yeah, I
different
definitely,
styles, different
yeah,
topics.
I definitely was around a lot of different things. I was around a lot of different cultures, and I was around a lot of different vibes. And I just think naturally as a kid, I always wanted to see everything, know everything, learn everything I could. So to me, it was cool to be able to see all these different places and all these different experiences, and just gather stuff from, you know. And then when it came to music, like, you know, I was just exposed to so many different forms of music early on in life that, you know, if there wasn't any music playing, I didn't feel right. So I guess in a sense, it kind of um maybe subconsciously like put me in a zone where I already was thinking of, you know, having a joy, having a love for music.
Well, I mean, I noticed that like one thing from the beginning, like I've been a big reader all my life. So like
Mhm.
you know, I spoke like those around me. Like I know big words and wouldn't know how to say them and shit because nobody used them. But
Mhm.
I know it's a lot that you would use quote unquote vocabulary words in like a smooth way. And then like sometimes they would even become I wouldn't say slang, but I hear other rappers say them.
That's deep. I ain't even all of that flew over me, but nah, that's cool. I mean, yo, you Mark, bro, I say it all the time. You can't really be anything other than what you are, who you are. You know, so me, I've always had a love for communication. I've always had a love for, like I said, learning and utilization and application. So it's kind of like if I learned the word, then I would just lock that shit in. And, you know, it wasn't just about the word, it was about the meaning, the context, the time, the use of it, you know. So, and I was an avid reader from the beginning. Like in school, I would say I definitely read a lot. I read fast, and I had like uh, a real appetite for literature, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, as a kid.
I mean, young people want to learn, and sometimes, you know, I went to fucked up schools. Like the only way you could really learn anything is if you read shit on your own, you know.
Yeah, facts. I mean, even if it was that, I mean, and it was, if it was anything, it could have been a Marvel comic book, or it could have been,
Oh, definitely, yeah.
or it could have been, you know, The Lion, the Witch, or the Wardrobe, or whatever book it was. So you understand? But I would just enjoy just reading, you know,
Shit,
and just soaking myself in it. So I guess that's where all that comes from,
shit,
you know.
that's a beautiful thing. So
Yeah.
the lemon pepper freestyle with Nature, is that indicative that maybe you and Nature might have something in the works, or was that just a one off?
Oh nah, we definitely got more material coming. Like that's the bro, you know what I mean? That's my bro. So everybody that I'm working on, or rather working with on this project, you know, it's like a family affair, you know. So me and they always would talk about doing things, and now like even if we just regular chit chatting on the phone about just everyday shit. Like we'll still be like, yo, yeah, yo, I got this beat. What's up? I want you to hear this. You think you could fuck with it? So we already have been in the process of recording things, but he'll definitely be featured on the upcoming album. Definitely.
Oh, that's what's up, because y'all definitely had nice
Shout out to
chemistry.
you just reminded me how to call him when we get off the interview. You just reminded me. Thank you.
Hey, tell him there's a dude who got a podcast who bought the Wild Gremlins album. The group got all his CDs still, and would love that. Man, I fucks with some nature ever since the 6'1" Buck7 Get Pussy With My Father features, one of my favorite lines ever.
I tell her, I'm like, yo, that's a legendary verse. I tell them that all the time. You know what I mean? But I'll definitely relay it when I speak.
We was fucking with it in DC, bro. Like when we first heard Nature, like everybody around where I lived in Forest Heights, that's like in PG County, right outside of Southeast, Southwest. And we was like, who is on the firm taping? We was like, who is this dude? You know, and like that first Sony album with the red cover he had is, in my opinion, a classic. Like I make sure I always have a copy of that.
I know he's working on something now called the 98 Nate series. So I think that's getting ready to drop soon. So, but he's definitely at it, and we definitely been in the lab, and we definitely been coming up with more stuff to do. So yeah, shout out to the bro.
So let's take it back to the beginning for a minute. You used to be a large professor house with people like Nas, Q-Tip, Pete Rock, Liz of the New School, Ocknell, and y'all be having ciphers, and you were learning music, or I don't know if you were learning music, but that's like when you first started like recording and everything, right?
Nah, not even, because at that point, I grew up with Large. Like Large lived right next to me as a kid, you know. So
you'd already been making music.
Say that again, bro.
So you'd already been making music at this time when all y'all were in that house, because like I just can't imagine that. Okay.
Not even. He was making music. Like he definitely was at that point. Me, I was probably like, I want to say I was around like 16, 15 going on 16, but I was a DJ. I had like turntables and Gemini mixers and Gem Sound speakers and records. And that's really what
you know, scratching all that?
Yeah. So that's really where I started, you know, and then once I started going back to my old neighborhood and I seen that Large, you know, was you know, like making music on like, you know, on the SP and all of that, and he had his songs out. So I would just go over there to vibe, just to chill. And the more that I would go over there, it was just ritual when you was there to just spit, you know. So at first, you know, I would just say little things here and there. And then, you know, my folk around me, they'd just be like, yo, you kind of, you know, if you really, really wanted to, you could get, you know, you can get nice with it. So I just, every day, bro, like I just started just writing and rhyming and freestyling. And even if I wasn't at his crib, I'd be at my crib, you know, in my house, like just rhyming all day and just writing. And I just got better at it, you know, and from there, I just had ended up, you know, starting to do mixtapes and stuff like that. And people, you know, I guess were starting to talk. And the rest was history, you know. But I would definitely, when I was at Large crib, I would just listen, and he would definitely give me, you know, like his pointers on, you know, my delivery and, you know, how to project your voice on the microphone, how to hold the mic, all of that, you know. So I guess he was kind of, in a way, cultivating me because he saw something coming too, you know. So it was just a cool experience to be around all of that.
Did you ever run into Big L over there?
Nah, but L I knew like afterwards. I met L like not too long after I first came out. So me and L got cool, you know, off top. So, and I have family in Harlem. So I would see L a lot when I would see my family in Harlem. You know, so we just developed a relationship that way.
How crazy are like the shit he used to spit that the world never heard? Because I've heard stories that like
Yeah, L was a beast, bro. Like L was the type he'll spit something and you would just be like, "Yo, I don't even know how anybody could come up with saying that, but it would make you want to go home and get your own, sharpen your own skills more." So he definitely, there was many a day like, we might be at the bar or something just bugging and he would just start spitting and he'll say some real shit.
hey, this ain't really no question, but a yes or no thing. Like down in DC, we had this thing called jukebox, but it wasn't the same as like what y'all had with the Ralph McDaniels. It was like this shit where each video had a 900 number and they charge you like $5 or some shit if you called
Yeah,
it.
we had that. We had the box. You
All
had
right.
to dial like a code, a 3-digit code to see the video you wanted. We had that too.
So did you know that like Shit's Real used to get requested over and over in the DC area, right?
I know that at home it played a lot, and I know that the label would tell me that it would play a lot. I never really firsthand, but
bro, that shit had like Bone Thugs repetitiveness. Like sometimes it would be like 9 out of 13 videos.
Yeah.
Cause you would go over to like some honeycomb hideout and go up on somebody's phone and call up some shit you like, you know what I'm saying? So somebody probably just really liked that shit and called it in like that. But man, I stayed seeing that. So I was just curious if you was aware of that. So then when you first
like I definitely heard and I definitely appreciate it. But yeah, I
mean,
know.
I bet you got Love at Howard Homecoming a few times.
Oh yeah, for certain. It was a blast going in. Like that was
because
like,
bro, DC fucked with you.
Yeah. Like, oh yeah, I remember going to DC and like, going to Howard and I remember like the Penn State relays, and I remember homecomings and stuff, and it would always be a lot of love. You know what I mean? So I appreciate it. I'm grateful to no end for it. Like especially at that time in that era to get love from those places and from those people that were attending those schools or that was in that area. It was real. So I appreciate it.
So then on your first album, The Natural, that whose jersey was you wearing? That Magic jersey? What was it? Penny? Was it Dennis Scott? Was it Shaq?
I think it was, if I'm not mistaken, I think it was Penny, bro. I think it was Penny. I think I just randomly had grabbed it that day, and that was it.
That's a solid choice. Like if I was gonna rock any of them now, I'd probably pick Penny.
Yeah, I mean, and at the time, like I think Penny and Shaq had just started playing together, so those was one of the squads I paid attention to, and the colors was lit, so I went with that.
Word, it definitely fit the background. Now it was a great cover. So when you I shouldn't say when you first started, just in general, because I used to hear Master IC get played in the club a lot. And how did crowds react when you perform Master IC, like when it was at its peak?
It was they would love it. They would sing the hook. The hook, I think, just had its own appeal because it just spoke to so much that was going on at that period of time. So, and it was just for all demographics, all age groups for the most part, and all walks of life. And
well, that's a funny thing I want to tell you, bro. Like when that came out, I was like finishing up high school, right? And like, I grew up in PG County, like mostly black community, yada yada. Like near where Kevin Durant grew up, so like I live near the hood, but there was also like church motherfuckers and all that type shit. So like back in those days, it was church girls that wouldn't dance to rap songs. You know what I mean? But like at the little homecoming or whatever, they would dance to Master IC.
That's deep. Like I that's the first time I'm hearing that one too. So that's crazy too.
Yeah, I don't even know the psychology behind it. I just remember seeing like I ain't gonna say her name, but it was this one church girl that I really liked, and I ain't never so I was paying attention, and that was the only time I ever seen her dance to a rap song.
He said I was paying attention. Nah, that's crazy if that's how it went down. Like, I just know that it was one of the songs that we knew we would save for towards the end, because we knew it was one of the most impactful songs in the catalog, and it was one of the most it was one of the songs that just called for crowd participation. Yeah. So you knew you was going to do it, and you knew when we did it, everybody was going to be on that same wave. So we would always look forward to doing Master Acid.
And so why'd you decide to get Lost Boyz on the remix?
It was just like I said, anybody I worked with, they like family, they friends, they brothers that I grew up with and vibe with. So me and Cheeks and J Raff, shout out to J Raff and everybody, and B1 I went to school with, you know, Rasta T I went to school with. So I already knew Lost Boyz way before I was even signed as Mic Geronimo. You know,
I don't know why, but it kind of seemed like out of left field for me at the time. But then, like, when I heard it, I was like, oh, I definitely fucks with this. Nah, I just wasn't expecting it, because, you know, after Renee and everything.
I get it. I definitely get it, because, you know, it was one of the things where people probably didn't see that on the radar. If you was from Queens, though, it wasn't so much of a stretch, because people in Queens knew, like, you know, these is all people that we was all together in the hood bugging out, like, during high school days, you know. So it was only right to get together and work, you know. And as a matter of fact, shout out to Harv Pierre from Bad Boy. Harv was the one who actually was like, yo, y'all need to link and work. And we was like, yo, we family, so that's nothing to do, you know. And then we just went in the studio, we went to Daddy's house, we recorded, we had fun, and that was it.
Man, I know you know Lex Coos Beamers and that's the name of the album, right?
Yeah.
Man, do you remember that song where they said something about Marky Mark and never seen him in the park?
No, I don't remember that one.
Yeah, man, I ain't trying to talk about that shit. Basically, it was like some culture vulture shit.
Right.
But that's not the point. That beat was so motherfucking ill, and like,
they had a serious production game.
I mean, that one beat though was like stand above. Like, I wish that shit would become like something everybody freestyle over. You know what I'm saying? I don't know why people don't dig in the records for them beats that everybody freestyle over. It's always got to be like, you know, I mean, I also understand the challenge of it though. If you really like the beat, like I would have tried to get on a Millie if I thought I could compete with Wayne.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So
I mean, that's just part. I think that's just more so just people that spit being people that spit. There's gonna always be those beats that no matter what or who, they just gonna motivate you to want to get on them and try and outdo whoever did them, or try and outdo everybody else. So I just think it's one of those things.
Word. So, you know, you mentioned working with Puff, and I was gonna ask you about that. So then your next album, Vendetta, other than the ticket, what's the difference? What was the difference of working with Puff compared to like whoever you'd worked with before?
I mean, like I said, bro, when I work with people, these is people that I vibe with. So I never looked at it in terms of levels or in terms of, okay, there's his style versus his style. Or I just go in and work with the people that I vibe with, you know, and it just presented the opportunity at that time for me and P to work together, you know, and finally, and we have been talking about working together for a sec. So it was just cool. And to me, I just went up there and I was just like, yo, it's just a matter of me finding a beat that I vibe to. And I looked at it as no more or no less than that. You know what I mean? People around us might have looked at it like, okay, this is Mike leveling up, or okay, this is Mike, you know, stepping out of his underground, whatever. But me personally, I wasn't.
You had a job to do. You was doing your job. You can't level up until you.
And it wasn't even that. It wasn't even a job. Like looking at it at a job, it was like, yo, we're doing music because we do music. That's what we do. You
Yeah, that's, I mean,
understand what I'm
that's,
saying?
yeah, if you don't look at it as a job, that's even mostly good. You feel
Right.
me?
So yeah, it's what you love. It's why you hit.
I mean,
You
they
know,
say
so
if you love your job, you never work a day in your life.
yeah, you don't never work a day in your life when you have a true love for it. So to me, it was just a matter of just working with the people that I vibe with, that I have respect for, that's like family, and just making that shit come to life. And that's what we did.
And I know from our previous conversation, you don't like getting into who's better or nothing, like or whatever. But
Nah,
so,
I mean, I have opinions. I mean, but I just know
I
how I feel
I
about
saw on Single Life, who had the better feature, Carl Thomas or Jay-Z? Because Carl Thomas killed that motherfucker. Like I bet that acapella is
that's
amazing.
hard. Yeah, like Carl.
Like the only reason
I'm
I
not
asked
even
that
gonna lie.
question
I
was
just
just
be
I want to
wanting to
spot.
hear the singing part. I don't even be wanting to hear me and Hov rhyme. Like I'll hear Carl hit his couple of notes, and I'll be like, all right, I'm good. But
Yeah.
it's hard to but it's hard to say because
I didn't really want no answer. I just wanted to give like you said about giving
nah,
people flowers earlier, because
yeah,
damn, he was singing on that shit.
Carl's voice is one of the most amazing voices in R&B history. Truth be told.
So do you know who Moby is? I guess you
Yeah,
call him a DJ.
absolutely. Shout out, that's my man. Shout out to Moby. That's my guy.
So you know he sampled Wherever You Are and all that.
Oh yeah, absolutely. He damn for the
Is
lady.
there a story behind that?
Nah, I really, it shocked me, bro, because all I remember is just somebody telling me like, yo, Moby sampled your song, and I was like, word, and it was like, yeah, it's in this movie called Blue Crush, and I was like, word, and they like, yeah, and then I think we ended up speaking like maybe right before they put it in the Sex and the City movie. And I think that was like my first time opportunity getting to speak to him. But I was flattered, and I thanked him, and I told him, I'd love to get together. Like I'm familiar with his music, and I had respect for him as being the artist that he was and that he is. And so it was a cool thing. So I'm just very appreciative that he found something that I did, and he found something in it, and it became something else. That's some cool shit.
Yeah, bro, you got like mad little cool points on like your bullet points are vicious. Like tell me about Clockers, one of my favorite books ever for one thing, and definitely one of my
Yeah,
favorite movies. Probably my
yeah,
second favorite Spike Lee movie after Malcolm.
yeah. Like that. Clockers was actually one of the first movies I read for. Um, and it was I had never really thought about acting or anything like that. And I forget how the reading came about, but they just told me to go up there. And I just remember that whatever I had wore to the tunnel, I just threw back on and wore to the reading, because I forgot I even had the reading. And I'm just being me. I put my fronts in, and I jump in the car, and I jump out the car. And I just remember when I got out there, it's like, yeah, you gonna get the part. And I was like, what? And everybody was just like, yo, you gonna get the part. They looking for such, thugged out and blah blah blah. And then I read in front of Spike Lee and them, and I got to like the third callback. And then after that, I just was on the set, so, and they were very small parts, but it was just cool to have that experience for something that you never imagined yourself doing,
I mean,
so.
it's bigger than any part I ever had in a Spike Lee movie, brother. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, so it was just cool, to have that experience. And then, after that, they would kind of ask me to come read for other things. So I ended up going to read for, and some of them I would get to the third reading. Some of them I just wasn't the person for that part. So it was cool, bro. Like shout out to Spike Lee and his film crew. Real talk.
Then what was it like being a Tommy Hilfiger model?
Very cool. Very cool.
I know that closet was on Fort Knox.
Yeah, it was cool because shout out to Andy Hilfiger and Kadada. Same thing. They just asked somebody, I think, at the label, and then I got scheduled to do one event. And the next thing I knew, I was doing another event, and then I got very cool with Andy Hilfiger, and so I would go to Hilfiger just to chill.
You know, his son became a rapper for a while, Rich Hill.
Yeah, I think he told me something like that. I mean, but Andy plays the guitar, and Andy has a band, and Andy's been in the music for years. So I would go to Hilfiger, and Andy would play me new material they were going to use as the band, or he would he would ask me about, we should do something to jam together or whatever, make some music. But we just got very cool, and then from there, that ended. I ended up doing more for his line at Hilfiger, and then eventually his brother, Tommy Hilfiger, had asked me to do stuff for their line, and I went and did a couple of things, but I just didn't dig it. And so, we left it at that. But to this day, Andy's like, we're still cool as we've always been, I mean, he still is. So shout out to my bro, Andy Hilfiger.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the Cash Money Brothers. That was a group that Ja Rule was in, and I guess it ended because Chris Black went to prison. Y'all check out my man St. Laz prison series. They were speaking on that recently, but man,
I just spoke to Black. That's why
I was gonna ask you. If you were talking to him and if he's good. I like his music, and
he's good. It's funny because he actually called me yesterday, but I was sleeping. I fell asleep watching football yesterday, so he caught me during my football nap. But I just spoke to him. He's good, bro. He's good. You know what I mean? Like, we stay in communication. I'll probably end up speaking to him at some point tonight. So he's good though.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
So then I don't know, Spotify is your whole discography, but that Long Road Back album, man, that shit must. I mean, I was in prison at the time. I'm pretty sure, but I didn't even know it existed, and so to me that means as many sources and all that shit I got. That shit must have been under promoted. It's definitely underrated. That Tyrese feature, god damn, you killed that shit.
I appreciate
you were really spitting hard on that.
I appreciate it.
When's the last time I bet you ain't listened to that song in a minute either.
Nah, actually, bro, I think I listened to a live maybe a couple of months ago in Atlanta when I was recording, because some people that I was with, they never heard it. So I played it in the studio when we were recording at ATL. Matter of fact, I played it for DJ Toon. Shout out to Toon.
Oh, that's what's up. Yeah, walk it out. But man, like and speaking of the whole project, I loved how you was playing with like the cadence and the deliveries. I speak on songwriting all the time, because I know songwriting is harder than just coming up with a hard 16, especially one that's not even topical. Just how nice I am, and there ain't really no question. I just appreciated the depth of songwriting you put on that. I could tell that you meant that shit. You feel me?
I appreciate that, bro. That's some real shit. It's cool. Like I said, I think at this stage, and I think as I've gone on through through my career making music, I think that I developed more of an appreciation of having the opportunity to be a songwriter. Word. As opposed to just being a rapper. So what we get to do is incredible, and it's the best feeling in the world. And like, I think it was Sting who said it, where it was like, music is its own reward.
Word.
And it is, so I think, along the course after Vendetta, me diving into doing independent albums and independent projects, and then just allowing myself to go through a process of growth. Like with 3016 is, if you felt that song right, like I can't wait for people to hear this one. So
well, I mean, I did want to get to a live real quick though, because like one thing I noticed, a lot of those beats on that album sound like the beats you hear today. I felt like you was really ahead of the curve on production. That the American Family
that's
song
cool.
was some deep, profound shit.
Yeah,
Songs like Robbery 101, Click Clack, man,
yeah.
the viciousness of your lyricism and delivery is as good as anything you've ever done.
I appreciate it.
On the bonus track, who else is that raps? Is that cat Dark Side?
Yeah, those my peoples from Southside, my man Sin and Doc. So they rhymed on it.
Yeah, man, they got flow.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they actually to this day they be around me. So they may very well end up on 3016 as well, you know.
Shit, I would love to hear it. And
Yeah.
then finally, before we get into your socials and all that, you know, I didn't get a chance to watch the whole episode of Drink Champs. They be long, and I got 3 kids and shit like that. You know? but you know, I'm highly appreciative of the platform, and I'm just curious, what's it like being on there?
It was cool. Like I think for me, like I honestly could say I think it got to the point with me where I forgot we was even recording. You know, like I think you know, like it just to me started to just feel like me and Pone and Flush was, you know, we could have been anywhere. We could have been in a diner in Queens. We could have been in a club talking. We could have been on a basketball court talking. We could have been anywhere. So to me, I totally felt so comfortable that I even, you know, forgot that that's what we were doing. You know, so it didn't feel made up or Hollywood or it didn't feel anything. It just felt like sitting there with your people and just talking.
I mean, that shows how good Nori and
yeah, shout out
and effing are at their job. But man, bro, I wish I could just ask Nori one question so bad. Cause I know you remember that line where he was like, I wish I knew then what I know now sooner, because my clique stayed in jail like Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah.
I want to know if he ever met Robert Downey Jr. and if
I
Robert
don't
Downey
know.
Jr. ever heard that line.
I don't know. I could definitely check on it and see what it was and what it is.
I don't know. I just always wondered about that shit. That's every time I see like Iron Man or some shit, I hear Nori say that line. You feel me?
I gotta ask him that. That's a good one to ask.
Shit, let me know if you find out. But man, thank you for your time. Everybody make sure they check out 3016 when it comes out. Mic Geronimo's music's available on all digital streaming platforms. Where can they find you at on socials? And if you got any merch for sale or anything, please plug it.
Oh yeah, you can go to the website micgeronimomusic.com. There's definitely merchandise. We actually we're getting ready to release the commemorative edition for the 25th anniversary of The Natural. So we have apparel, we have gear that we made just for commemorative.
Do you have a vinyl?
We have vinyl in the process now that's going to be released.
I'm definitely copping that.
But yeah, you could go to MicGeronimoMusic.com and that'll keep you up to date with everything I have going on. I'm on Instagram, that's at Mic Geronimo. Twitter, I think, is at Real Mic Geronimo. Facebook, there's the Mic Geronimo fan page, and I think I got all and TikTok, yeah, it's Real Mic Geronimo, and pretty much that's not really that hard to find online.
Nah, not at all. Shit, put your name up on YouTube. Y'all can learn hip hop
history
consecutively.
Channel. Yeah, there's the YouTube channel as well. I think the video actually drops on Friday on Tidal and Vivo. So we good, bro. We good. It's good. It feels good to be back at work.
That's what's up. And real quick though, shout out to your publicist.
Yeah, shout out to my sis Allie.
She was so nice in setting this up in a way in a personal way to industry people. I don't know if she's a quote unquote industry person, but you know, rarely are, and I appreciate that. But also, man, thank you for your time, and like you said about flowers, Thank you for all the joy your music's brought me over the years, and I look forward to hearing the new music. And please let me know when you release anything. I would love to support it.
I got you, bro. I appreciate it to no end. So I will definitely keep you informed when it does drop. I'll definitely get it to you. And yeah, I'm looking forward to it. But thanks for having me, Mark. Like, there's some real shit that's cool as fuck. So thank you, bro.
Oh man, I appreciate that. So I did a good job.
Yeah, absolutely. Why you think you thought you did?
Oh, hey, I be wanting to know. Everybody loves
Nah, we all right, bro. Yeah, I had fun, bro. We just sitting here, you know, just shooting the breeze. So it's cool. It's cool.
There's a little more shooting the breeze though, bro. You dropped a few gems. You definitely say some
I mean, it
thought-provoking
was a
things.
fair exchange, no robbery. You know what I mean? It was fair exchange. So we lit, bro. We good.
All right, that's what's up, man. Well, thank you so much for your time. And like I said, salute for everything.
Likewise, bro. And I'll see you soon. I'll keep you posted.
All right, no doubt, man. You take it light.
You too, bro.
All right, peace.
One.